Your Faraday cage is a trash can wrapped in aluminum foil. You saw it on a prepper forum. Someone said it works. You put your emergency radio inside, your backup hard drive, maybe some batteries. You sealed it with aluminum tape. You feel prepared. And the first time an electromagnetic pulse hits, that trash can is going to do absolutely nothing. The EMP will pass through the gaps like they don't exist. Your electronics will fry, and you'll be standing there with a metal trash can full of expensive paperworks, wondering what went wrong. The problem isn't that Faraday cages don't work. They do. The problem is that most people build them wrong. They treat it like a magic box where metal plus electronics equals protection. It's not magic, it's electromagnetic shielding. And if you don't understand the physics, it doesn't work. During World War II, militaries faced these threats daily: radio jamming, radar interference, lightning strikes. Later, they started thinking about nuclear EMP effects. They developed shielding specifications that were tested and refined in combat. Those specifications still exist, they're not classified, yet somehow the purper community reinvented the Faraday cage using trash cans and foil, completely ignoring 70 years of military engineering that already solved this problem. Let's break down why your cage is wrong and how to build one that will actually work. First, an EMP is a burst of electromagnetic radiation from a nuke, a solar flare, or a weapon. This pulse creates rapidly changing fields that induce massive electrical currents in any conductor they touch, like the wires and circuits in your electronics. A microchip designed for 5 volts gets hit with thousands of volts for a fraction of a second. It physically burns out. A real Faraday cage creates a conductive shell around the electronics. The EMP hits the cage and the energy flows around the outside, never reaching the inside. That's the theory, but in practice, they fail for specific, predictable reasons. Reason 1, gaps. Any gap in the conductive shell is a doorway. EMP from a nuclear blast contains very high frequencies, with wavelengths measured in millimeters. A gap of just a few millimeters is a wide open gate. Your trash can lid, it's not a perfect seal. There's a gap between the lid and the can. Even if you tape it, the tape isn't conductive. The EMP sees that gap and walks right in. Military shielding specifications demand continuous electrical contact. Seams are welded or sealed with conductive gaskets that ensure metal-to-metal contact all the way around. Reason 2 is a misunderstanding of grounding. Now, for a large shielded room with power cables running in, grounding is critical to shunt away the massive currents. But for a small isolated Faraday cage like an ammo can holding a radio, grounding it is a mistake. A long ground wire acts as an antenna, collecting the EMP and delivering it straight to your cage, making things worse. For a small sealed box with nothing entering or leaving, your goal is isolation, not grounding. The cage works by reflecting the energy away. Reason 3, wrong materials. Aluminum foil is conductive, but it's thin, it tears. It doesn't provide robust protection. Military shielding uses thick steel, copper mesh, materials that can carry high currents without vaporizing and maintain their integrity under stress. And finally, reason 4, no understanding of shielding effectiveness. Shielding is measured in decibels or dB. Your foil-wrapped trash can might give you 20, maybe 30 dB of protection. That reduces the EMP's energy by a factor of 1,000. It sounds like a lot, but it's not. Military standards like MIL STD 188-125 require a minimum of 80 to 100 dB. That's a reduction factor of 100 million to 10 billion. An EMP is so powerful that 1,000 to 1 reduction isn't nearly enough. Your electronics still get hit with a lethal dose. So how do you build one that actually works? You follow the principles the military perfected 80 years ago. Start with a completely conductive enclosure. A steel ammo can is an excellent starting point, but here's the critical part. The rubber gasket in the lid is an insulator. It creates a gap. You have to fix this. Carefully remove the rubber gasket, then line the channel where it sat with conductive fabric over foam gasket material or copper mesh tape. When you close the lid and latch it tight, the gasket compresses, creating continuous metal-to-metal contact. The gap is sealed. For a larger container, use a steel cabinet. Add conductive gasket material like beryllium copper fingerstock around the entire door frame. This ensures that when the door is closed, it's electrically bonded to the cabinet at all points. Gaps are the enemy. Inside the cage, your electronics must not touch the metal walls. Line it with an insulator, cardboard, foam, plastic. This prevents any residual energy on the cage from conducting directly into your devices. For the highest level of protection, use nesting. Put your radio inside a small, sealed metal box. Then put that box inside your larger, properly sealed ammo can. Each layer multiplies the shielding effectiveness. If each box gives you 40 dB of protection, together they give you 80 dB. And absolutely no wires running in or out. Any cable is an antenna that will carry the EMP right past your shielding. For backup electronics, store them completely disconnected. If you absolutely must have power or data lines, you need specialized military-grade filtered connectors, which are expensive and complex to install correctly. So how do you know you did it right? You can do a basic test. Put a portable radio inside, tuned to a strong AM station. Seal the cage, the sound should vanish completely. No static, no hum, nothing. Next, put your cell phone inside, close it, and try to call it. It shouldn't ring, it should go straight to voicemail. If your cage can't block a simple cell signal, it has zero chance of blocking an EMP. This isn't a perfect test, it doesn't measure the full 80 dB, but if your cage fails this simple check, you know it's just a metal box. In the end, what survives an EMP? Simple things: mechanical watches, incandescent flashlights, older vehicles with no electronic ignition. What dies? Everything with a microchip. Your computer, your phone, your modern car. The threshold for protection is incredibly high. So look at your trash can full of electronics. You can leave it there and hope, or you can spend a weekend building a proper Faraday enclosure based on proven engineering. A steel ammo can with a conductive gasket, insulated on the inside, no gaps, no shortcuts. The materials aren't expensive. The knowledge is free. The difference is whether your backup gear survives or becomes useless junk. An EMP doesn't care about your good intentions. It cares about physics. Build it right or don't build it at all, because a Faraday cage that doesn't work is worse than no cage. It gives you false confidence. You think you're protected when you're not, and you won't find out until it's too late. Proper shielding, grounded when necessary, gasketed and tested, isn't paranoia, it's engineering. It's the difference between electronics that survive and electronics that fry.